All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nicole, and welcome back to our English class. As you can see on the screen, we will be continuing with our topic or with our discussion yesterday on academic collocations. Yesterday, we started working on academic collocations and focused on the first two sets of academic collocations. You all did a great job practicing and recognizing how those word combinations are used in academic contexts. Today, we are going to continue with this topic and explore the remaining three sets of academic collocations. As we go through them, I'll give you clear examples and we'll also practice using them naturally in sentences. By the end of today's session, you will be more confident in using these phrases or collocations in both writing and speaking. All right, let's immediately start with a third set of phrase for academic collocations, or our first set of academic collocations for today, which is on research and analysis collocations. All right. So here, for a moment. So our first collocation is conduct a study. Again. Oh my God, wait. All right. Okay. Yes, our first set of collocations will be on research and analysis, which will be, these are collocations that are commonly used in academic context to describe how research is done and analyzed. So they're not just, fancy words. They are collocations, meaning words that naturally go together in English. So we will be tackling about these collocations because it will be helpful for your speaking or writing in IELTS or TOEFL exams. Let's start with conduct study. Again, conduct study, meaning carry out research. So it is a phrase you will see and hear very often in academic writing and speaking, especially when people describe the process of scientific or social research. The phrase means much more than just doing something. It implies a carefully planned, carefully organized, and methodological approach to investigating a specific question or hypothesis. Basically, when we try to conduct a study, there's this specific systematic process that we follow. Okay, you can think about a researcher, a social researcher, maybe an academic scholar, scientist. Before they start, they must design their research carefully, decide what questions to ask, decide or choose the methods for gathering information like surveys, interviewing, observations, or experimenting, and then execute the research plan step by step. They follow this systematic process depending on what kind of research are they trying to make. Okay? So conducting a study refers to this whole process of carrying out the research project from start to finish in a systematic way. So that is conduct a study. That is an explanation of how we can use this particular collocation. When it comes to pronunciation, let's start with conduct a study. So same as yesterday, I have provided the IP transcriptions for the collocations today. So these are the IP transcriptions. We will follow that. So let's start with conduct. So this is a two-syllable word. The stress falls on the second syllable, duct, which is, important for natural pronunciation. So here we give more emphasis on that syllable. The first syllable, con, it is pronounced softly, almost like kun. Okay? This has a relaxed vowel sound, which is our schwa sound here. Again, the schwa sound, what is a schwa sound? This is a weak, relaxed, and stressed vowel sound. In this case, this one. That is the symbol for a schwa sound, no matter what the kind of vowel it is, representing. So here, it is a weak and stressed and relaxed O vowel sound. Okay, so here it sounds like UH. It sounds like that. So kun. So it is short and unstressed. The second syllable dact is stressed, as I've mentioned, and it is pronounced, of course, clearly with a hard D and the act sounding like tucked without the final no without yeah, it's more clear. We try to say the letter T also at the end as clear as we can, same as with letter D. So it rhymes with how do you call that, uh locked, something like that, locked, the past tense, or stuck, maybe. No, there's no clear letter T in there, but locked, yeah, it's the close one. So duct, same as the first syllable. The vowel here is also, kind of not held or hold a little bit longer. It's quick. It's a bit quick. It's a bit short. So we say it as conduct with emphasis on duct, of course. Following this is an article which is a schwa sound here in itself. It is unstressed and pronounced quickly as as I mentioned earlier, UH, almost like a soft, quick sound between words. It's almost like when we try to say the phrase, it is, blended within that two words, conduct and study. So that's the second syllable, and then the last word is study, which has two syllables with stress on the first syllable, stud. Again, sta. So the first syllable is sta. It sounds like sta with UH still, because the vowel here is still weak and unstressed. Then the second syllable is D. D. It is a soft D with a short E vowel sound. So we say it as study. Again, study, clearly emphasizing the first syllable. So we try to put it all together. We say conduct a study. Again, conduct a study. With natural rhythm, the second syllable of conduct and the first syllable of study are stressed here. So conduct a study. That is the first collocation. Following this is collect data. Very simple. Collect data meaning gather information, which is, fundamental in research. It is just, how do you call that? It is related to the first one because, of course, our first set of phrases is under research and analysis. So we try to focus on that context. So this phrase, it means to systematically gather and record information that will be used to answer research questions or test hypotheses. Because when conducting a study or when conducting a research, of course, we try to start by identifying what kind of problem we're trying to address, what kind of issue we're trying to address, how we can solve that, what are the hypotheses, what are the questions or hypotheses that we are trying to be the center of our research, and how we can do that, and we're trying to give answers to that. And by providing answers, we collect data. How do we collect data? I've mentioned earlier, we can do survey, observations, interview, experiments, those things. Depending on our research, what fits the most will be used or will be utilized for the best how do you call that, the best input, or the best input that we can give to our research output. All right, the data can be numbers, it can be facts, it can be responses or observations I've mentioned. So the phrase here is really important because collect, the word collect, it emphasizes the deliberate and organized way researchers obtain their data. So this is not a random or casual thing, it's purposeful and it follows a method to ensure the information is reliable and valid. So I've mentioned that surveys, experiments, or observations, any kind of recordings, as long as all these informations are done and collected with consent to the interviewees or the participants, for example, or the how do you call it, the respondents, as long as there's as long as there's consent in it, of course, then you can obtain that information. All information that you collect, all data that you gathered for your research output should be done with consent to the respondents and participants. If you are a researcher, you know that. Okay? There should be an informed consent when trying to survey, when trying to let an individual take your survey, no matter how simple it is, or when you let an individual interview them, okay, or observe them. So, in academic context, talking about how you collect data, it shows you understand the importance of evidence in supporting conclusions and arguments. When it comes to pronunciation, collect data, there's only two words here, starting with the first one, collect. There's two syllables, and you stress here on the second syllable, lect. Well, the first syllable, col, it is pronounced softly like col because there's a schwa sound in there, okay? And the schwa sound is pronounced as same as the first one, first collocation. So here the schwa sound is So we try to how do you call it? We try to say that on the first syllable for this word, kol. Kol. Again, kol. The second syllable is lect. So it starts with letter L sound. It rhymes with rect, maybe, yeah. There's a short E vowel sound there, and it's pronounced clearly with a hard T, right? So that is lect. So we try to pronounce this word as collect, with emphasizing on the second syllable, collect. Following this is data or data. So there's two common pronunciations. First is data, which is more common in American English. We say day, which has a clear diphthong sound. Now again, what's a diphthong? A diphthong is when a vowel sound smoothly glides to another vowel sound. Basically, vowel sound plus vowel sound, we get a diphthong. The diphthong here is A in day, which is the first syllable of this word in American English. So day has a clear A diphthong, and then followed by T, because there's a schwa sound in there, and the schwa sound is so T. Or we can say this word as data. Okay, data, which is more common in British English. We just have, instead of a diphthong A, we will have a short vowel sound. We will have a short vowel sound here. So instead of day, we say da. Again, da. And then we just copy the second syllable because it's the same, t. So it's either, again, both pronunciations are acceptable as long as the stress is on, not as long as, but the stress is also on the first syllable. So the two common pronunciations are data or data. Again, data or data. Data for, I think it's more common in American English, and then data is more common in British English. Just make sure to pronounce the letter T clearly, not like a D, okay? T. So choose one and just say confidently. Collect data or collect data, okay? All right. Third, collocation, analyze the results, meaning examine outcomes. So here it is a critical phase in any research or data-driven discussion. It means to carefully examine and interpret the data or findings gathered during a study to kind of like understand what they mean. Of course, we try to analyze the obtained data, basically, because the word analyze, it is a strong word. It implies a deep logical process. You are not just looking at the numbers or observations, but you are interpreting them. You are breaking them into you're breaking them down into parts, and you are thinking critically about patterns, maybe about trends, and what the data says to that particular pattern. So the results here are the specific outcomes or findings of the study or experiments. By analyzing them, the researchers identify if their hypothesis was correct, like they can discover maybe new insights or recognize unexpected findings. So analyze the results is really, when we in IELTS and TOEFL exams, when you talk about analyzing results, you demonstrate higher level critical thinking and a clear understanding of research process. So this is really a process. We started with conducting the study, and when conducting a study, we collect data, and then after obtaining the information that we need, we analyze that information to get a result. Okay. I mean, we analyze the information, which is the results from all the methods, the kind of ways we do to obtain the information. So that's analyze the results. When pronunciation wise, there's three words in there. We start with analyze, which has three syllables. The stress is on the first syllable, an. Pronounce unclearly here because it's our stressed syllable, like the word ant without the letter T in the end. So it's just un with a short vowel sound and a nasal sound at the end, which is the letter N. Then the second syllable is It's just It's just soft and quick sound because it's a schwa sound. And then lastly, the last syllable is lies. It sounds like lies, like lies, lies, but with a buzzing sound at the end, not a hissing sound. So it's lies. And there is a clear diphthong sound in there. The diphthong is I. Okay? I in lies. All right. So we say it as unlies. Again, we say it as analyze. Next word is the, which is very simple. It is unstressed. It is pronounced as the because there's a schwa sound in there, unless followed by a vowel sound. Okay. Now the IP symbol of this particular th sound. Now remember, there's two versions of th sounds. First is the voice th sound, which is this particular which is one that is used in this word, the. So that is the voiced th sound, and the IPA symbol is the one I highlighted in the table. So that's the symbol of the voiced th sound. Okay. We will encounter the voiceless th sound later, maybe, and I will be pinpointing also the symbol of that particular version of th sound. All right. Continuing, we get the next word, results, which has two syllables. We stress on the second syllable here. The first syllable is results. Not re, but re. Wait, analyze the results. Yeah, re. It's a short E vowel sound. It's soft and quick. The second syllable is salts. So not salts, but zolts. So it starts with a buzzing sound, with a letter Z sound, with a voiced sound. And then it has a soft and quick vowel sound after the buzzing sound, and it ends with a consonant cluster of three consonants here. We have letter L, letter T, and letter S. So those individual sounds of those consonants are blended together to create one consonant cluster sound. All right, so this is zolts. We say it as results with emphasis on zolts. All in all, we put it together, analyze the results, again with clear syllable emphasis and smooth linking between words. So analyze the results. That's the third collocation. Fourth collocation, draw a conclusion. Again, draw a conclusion. It means decide something based on evidence. It means just basically to reach a decision or judgment based on the evidence or results that you have examined. After analyzing the result, we draw a conclusion. It's the final step in reasoning, where you take all the information you gathered and analyzed and say what it means. So that is draw a conclusion. Now, the verb draw here, which is the first word, it means to pull or take out, okay? So you are drawing out meaning from your evidence. It's a metaphor, not physically drawing with a pencil, all right? We know that, of course. Let's draw a conclusion. Pronunciation wise, start with draw, which has one syllable, but this particular syllable or word is stressed already. It rhymes with law or straw, with there is like where the vowel sound is it's just quick and soft. Draw. It starts with a consonant cluster of the letters consonant letters D and R. So we blend the sounds together for those two consonants. So here you open your mouth wide and make a long sound here. Draw. Draw. That's how we try to say this word. And then following with a schwa sound, a soft sound, and then conclusion, which has 3 syllables. Here we stress on the second syllable. The first syllable is con. We're familiar with that already. Con, it's soft because there's a schwa sound in there. The second syllable is clue. It is stressed and pronounced as clue with a long oo vowel sound and a consonant cluster in the beginning. And last syllable is shon. It is soft. It sounds like John. So there's a buzzing sound in there. It is similar to vision. Okay, so we say it as conclusion. Again, conclusion. So say the whole phrase as draw a conclusion. Make sure to hold the draw sound clearly and stress the middle syllable of conclusion. Again, draw a conclusion. Fifth collocation is make a distinction, meaning show how two things are different. We point out or recognize the difference between two or more things. This is important in academic discussions because it shows a precision in thinking and clarity in argument. Okay? We make distinctions because it helps you avoid misunderstandings and build stronger arguments because you clarify exactly what you mean. Okay, that's it. This is make a distinction. When it comes to pronunciation, we start with make, which has one syllable. It rhymes with cake, so there is a clear A diphthong sound in there. Okay, make. A, make. All right. Then it's followed by a soft sound. So still there's a schwa sound in there. And then lastly, distinction, which has 3 syllables, but you stress here on the second syllable. The first syllable is this. It has a short E vowel sound and ends with a hissing sound, letter S sound. And then the second syllable, which is the stressed syllable, is stink. Again, stink. Not stink, but think. Okay, think. It starts with a letter T sound and then followed by a short E vowel sound and a consonant cluster of N and K consonants. And then the last syllable is shon. Now remember, if a spelling of a word has a T-I-O-N in there, most likely it is pronounced as shun. Again, shun. It's quick and soft. Shun. So we say as distinction with a clear stress on the middle syllable. When we try to put it together, we get make a distinction. Again, make a distinction. So we clearly emphasize on the rhythm of the stressed syllable. All right? So that is make a distinction. Okay? All right. The last collocation here is highlight a limitation. Again, highlight a limitation. So when we say highlight a limitation, it means that we point out a problem or a weakness. That's highlight a limitation because we know that a limitation here, it means that this is the problem or the weakness. It points out a specific problem, a weakness, or a shortcoming in something. Often in research, a method may be a theory or an argument. When you highlight something, you draw attention to it. So a limitation is something that restricts or reduces effectiveness an accuracy or scope. So that is highlighting a limitation. So try to highlight that particular limitations. Okay, we are in academic writing or presentations. We often highlight a limitation to show that we understand the weaknesses of a study, of an argument that we're trying to make or a process. It shows critical thinking and honesty, especially when analyzing your own research. There's always be a limitation when we try to conduct a research. There's no such thing as perfect research. There will always be such research gaps that we will be left after even conducting and drawing conclusion from our research. So there's no perfect research such that does not have a limitation. Okay, so that is highlighting a limitation. When it comes to pronunciation, it starts with highlight, which has two syllables. First syllable is high, which has a clear I diphthong sound, and then light, still with clear I diphthong sound. Highlight. Now the stressed syllable here is on the second syllable, light. Highlight. And then followed by a soft sound, and then limitation, which has limitation, which is four distinct syllables. Start with li, which has short E sound, as well as me, short E sound still. And then te, which has a clear A diphthong sound. And then, of course, the Tion spelling, it sounds like shun. So this is limitation with te, the third syllable, as its emphasis here. So we say it together as highlight a limitation. Again, highlight a limitation. And that's the first set of words, collocations under research and analysis. So to see if we are following with what we are discussing, it's time to practice. We will have a practice drill. Same as yesterday, it's very simple. I just want you to read the whole sentence with me. Now the sentence again has the collocations that we've discussed earlier, which is highlighted on red. Okay, we're just gonna read the sentences that I have provided. All right, let's start with the first one. Scientists conduct a study on the effects of social media on sleep. Researchers collect data through online surveys and interviews. It is essential to analyze the results carefully before making conclusions. From the findings, we can draw a valid conclusion about the trend. The article makes a clear distinction between correlation and causation. The report highlights a limitation in the sample size used. And that's the last phrase for research and analysis collocation. Let's shall move on with another set of collocations, which is under academic writing structure collocations. Starting with provide an overview, meaning giving a general summary. So to provide an overview means to give a concise and general summary of the main ideas or points related to a topic. So it is often the first step in academic writing or presentations where you introduce the subject by sketching the broad picture without going too much detail. You're not going into too much detail. So in essays or reports, an overview helps readers or listeners understand the scope and key themes before diving deeper. This phrase shows clarity and organization. It signals to your audience that you know how to guide them through your argument or discussion smoothly. Okay? So the phrase also implies that the overview is balanced and objective, covering the essentials fairly without bias. Pronunciation-wise, we start with provide, which has two syllables. We stress on the second syllable. First syllable is pro, which is unstressed and sounds like pro because the vowel sound here is a schwa sound. It starts with a consonant cluster P and R or per, and then the sound, pro. Then second syllable is vide, which has a clear I diphthong sound. It rhymes with side, so this is the stressed syllable, so we say it as provide. Again, provide. And then followed by unstressed unsound. So it's pronounced as un. Then overview, which has three syllables. We stress on the first syllable here. The first syllable is o, simple o. So that's the stressed syllable. And then second syllable is ver. It is soft and quick, which has a short e vowel sound. And the third syllable is view. It is clear. It's rhyming with view. So that's overview. Now again, It's using the sound of letter Y. Now, this is again the symbol of the letter Y sound, right? We are familiar with that. All right, I've mentioned that yesterday. So we say this word is overview with the emphasis on the first syllable. Oh, we try to put it together. We get provide an overview. Again, provide an overview. All right. Second collocation is elaborate on a point. Again, elaborate on a point, meaning explain in more detail. So to elaborate on a point, we mean to explain something in more detail. We provide additional information or examples or maybe clarification. Now, in academic writing, this is essential for developing arguments and making your ideas clearer and more convincing. So when you elaborate, you move beyond just stating an idea. Of course, you expand it you expand it fully here, so it helps your reader understand the depth and significance of your subject of your if you're writing, if you're speaking. So this phrase, it is often used when you need to build stronger arguments or justify your claims. So that's elaborate in a point. When it comes to pronunciation, elaborate has 4 syllables. We stress here on the second syllable. So the first syllable is I, which has a short E vowel sound, and then love, the stressed syllable, which has a short a vowel sound, and then followed by a schwa sound, and then rate, which has a clear a diphthong sound. So we pronounce this at elaborate. Again, elaborate. Next is on. We're familiar with that, as well as a. So we focus on point, which is a 1 syllable. We still stress the whole word in itself. So it rhymes with joint. It has a clear oi diphthong sound here. So the diphthong sound is oi. So this is, we put together, we say elaborate a point. Elaborate on a point. Again, with clear stress on love and point. Again, elaborate on a point. Okay. Third collocation, emphasize the importance, meaning highlight how important something is. So in academic writing, this is used when you want your reader to clearly see that a particular idea, a result maybe, or maybe a concept, that particular thing matters a lot. So this phrase signals your ability to judge the weight of different points and make sure the key messages stand out. Okay, you're actively guiding the reader's attention to what should be prioritized or remembered. So that's emphasize importance. When it comes to pronunciation, emphasize is the first word, which has 3 syllables. We stress on the first syllable here, which is M. There's a short E vowel sound in there, and then followed by f. Then the second syllable, which is soft, and then it ends with size, the third syllable, which has a clear I diphthong sound and a buzzing sound at the end. So we say it as emphasize. Again, emphasize. It is followed then with the. We're familiar with that. And then importance, which has 3 syllables still. We stress on the second syllable here, but the first syllable is M, which has a short E vowel sound. Okay? Then the second syllable, or the stressed syllable, is port. It is stressed. Again, it sounds like the word port. Well, it's the same. Port, it starts with the letter P sound, and then a short O sound, and then a cluster sound, consonant cluster RT or R or ERT. So we say it as port. And lastly, ans. Ans, very simple. There's a schwa sound in there. So we say the vowel sound here a bit quickly, a bit relaxed, and of course not stressed. And then we end it with a hissing sound in the end. So yeah, this is, we try to put it together. We get emphasize the importance. Again, emphasize the importance. Clear emphasis on M and port. Fourth collocation, structure the essay. Again, we structure the essay. So, meaning you organize the essay logically, because to structure essay means to organize your writing logically and clearly. So this involves planning and maybe arranging the introduction, the body paragraphs, and conclusion. That's the traditional parts of an essay, right? Intro, body, conclusion. So we try to structure those 3 parts in a way that flows naturally and supports your argument. A well-structured essay, it helps the reader your reader follow your points easily and shows your ability to think coherently. So it often involves with clear topic sentences, of course. There's also transitions between ideas and a balanced distribution of content. So that is structuring the essay. Pronunciation wise, we start with structure, which has two syllables. We stress on the first syllable here, struck. Again, struck. So we start with a consonant cluster of this individual sounds of S, T, and R. And then we followed by a schwa sound and a letter K sound at the end. So struck. Again, struck. And then chore, the second syllable, chore, it starts with a CH sound or ch sound. And of course, here, there's still a schwa sound. The symbol of the CH sound is this one, the letter F without the middle line. So that's chore, the ch sound. So we say it as structure. Again, the whole word is structure with emphasis on the first syllable. And then of course it's followed by the. We're familiar with that. So we continue with essay. Essay, which is two syllables. We stress on the first word. First syllable. First syllable is essay, S. The first syllable is S. Our stress syllable here, which has a short e vowel sound and a hissing sound at the end, of course. And then the second syllable is A, a clear diphthong, A. Okay? That's the second syllable. So we put it together, we get structure the essay. Again, structure the essay with a clear stress on struck and S. Fifth collocation, include supporting evidence. Again, include supporting evidence, meaning add proof or examples to back up a claim. So we try to support evidence, provide an evidence because it is essential for credibility and persuasiveness. Okay, it highlights the importance of not just stating opinions but grounding them in reliable sources or clear examples. That's including supporting evidence. When it comes to pronunciation, include, the first word has two syllables. We stress on the second syllable here. The first syllable is a soft in, which is a short E vowel sound, and then include, which has a long U vowel sound. The stress syllable. And then supporting, three syllables. We stress on the second syllable here, but the first syllable is so, which is a soft vowel sound, schwa sound. And then port, we're familiar with that, which is the stress syllable, and then ing, soft ing in the end. So supporting, we get supporting. And lastly, evidence, which also has three syllables. We stress on the first syllable, ev, which has a short e vowel sound, and then followed by second syllable, e, short e vowel sound, which is soft also. And lastly, the last syllable is dense. Okay, dense, with a clear hissing sound in the end, a short e vowel sound. So here, there's a silent letter E in evidence because we do not say it as evidency, but evidence. So the last E is a silent letter, okay? As well as in include. We do not say it as included, but include. So there's a silent E at the end also. So all in all, we put it together, we get include supporting evidence with strong stress on include, port, and ev. All right? Okay. The last collocation for academic writing structure is summarize key findings. Again, summarize key findings, meaning give a brief overview of the main results. So we try to give a clear overview of the main results or discoveries from a study or research. This phrase, it is often used in the conclusion or abstract of that particular academic work. So summarizing is important because it distills complex information into essential points, making it easier for readers, of course, to grasp the main message quickly. It reflects your ability to synthesize information effectively and present it clearly. That's, summarize key findings. When it comes to pronunciation, we start with summarize, which has three syllables. We stress on the first syllable here, some. Again, some, which has a quick, soft vowel sound, some. And then followed by a schwa sound. So there's a soft sound. second syllable, and then last syllable is rise, which has a clear I diphthong sound and a buzzing sound at the end. So there's also a silent letter in E in here, so we do not say it as summarize, but summarize. Okay, summarize with clear stress on the first syllable. Following that is key. Very simple. There's just, it starts with a letter K sound or K sound, and it is then ending with a long E vowel sound, because as you can see on the IB transcription, the vowel sound here is paired with a colon sound. And if there's a colon sound, it is most likely referring to a long vowel sound. Here, it is a long E vowel sound. So we say it as key. Again, key. And then findings. The last word is findings, which has two syllables. We stress on the first syllable here. So find is the first syllable, which has a clear I diphthong sound and a clear D at the end. And the second syllable is ings. Ings. There's a clear buzzing sound in there. A short E vowel sound, and then a nasal sound and J sound, and then a buzzing sound at the end. So this is findings. We put it together, we get summarize key findings. Again, summarize key findings with clear emphasis on sum and find. Okay? All right. So that is the last collocation for academic writing structure collocations. And same process, same drill. Of course, we have to practice it. Very simple, same as earlier. Alright, same pattern, same process. Let's start with the first one. The introduction should provide a brief overview of the topic. Always elaborate on your main points with examples or data. The report emphasizes the importance of early education. It's crucial to structure your essay with clear paragraphs. Good academic writing includes supporting evidence for every claim. Continuing, the final paragraph should summarize the key findings clearly. And that is the last collocation for academic and, how do you call that? Academic and structuring, academic writing structure collocation. So that's the last phrase, summarize the key findings. And we shall move on to the last set of phrases for academic collocations and the last set of phrases that we will be discussing for today's session, which is on advanced thinking in academic language. So these are the collocations. First is offer a perspective. So here, meaning share an opinion or viewpoint. So in academic discussions or writing, offering a perspective involves presenting your interpretation or angle based on evidence, based on experience, or some kind of reasoning. That's offering a perspective. This phrase implies a respectful contribution to a conversation or analysis where multiple perspectives might exist. So it suggests you are not stating facts, but adding thoughtful insight that can help broaden understanding or maybe spark further discussion. Offering a perspective is key in critical thinking and scholarly debate because it shows openness and analytical skill. When it comes to pronunciation, we start with offer, which has clear two syllables, right? The stress is on the first syllable, which is off, which has a clear short O vowel sound. Off. Second syllable is still with a short A vowel sound, and it ends with a letter R sound, of course. It sounds like her, but without an H sound at the beginning. Following offer, which has a first syllable stressed, is a schwa sound, a soft sound. Following that is perspective, which has three syllables. We stress on the second syllable here. The first syllable is per. It is pronounced softly. It rhymes with fur, but the first syllable, the first sound is letter P sound, okay? So that's per. And then following that, the second syllable is spec, which is our stressed syllable here. So it has a clear consonant cluster sound, spec, and a clear, short vowel sound. Now, the letter C sound here is the letter K version. So there's two versions of letter C sound. First is K, and second is S. So K, letter K sound or letter S sound. But here we use the letter K sound. Third syllable is tiv. Tiv. Very simple. It has a short E vowel sound. It ends with the letter V sound, which is a voiced sound. Again, this word is perspective. Again, perspective. We try to put it together. We get offer perspective with clear stress on off and spec. Okay? All right. Second collocation, raise a question. Again, raise a question. For a moment. Okay. Raise a question, meaning bring up a point to consider. So we try to raise questions here because it is a critical skill that drives inquiry, investigation, and deeper thinking. This phrase often signals the start of analysis or discussion and shows your engagement with the material. So raising questions can also identify gaps in knowledge or challenge assumptions, which is of course essential for advancing understanding. That's raising a question or raise a question. Pronunciation wise, we start with raise, which is a one syllable word. It rhymes with maze, which has a clear A diphthong sound and a buzzing sound at the end. So raise. And then followed by a soft sound, and then question, the last word, which has two syllables. We stress on the first syllable here, quest, which has a clear, short vowel sound. And then, of course, we know that the the letter Q makes is the consonant cluster of K and W. Okay? All right. And then after that, the second syllable is chon, chon. So there's the first sound is CH sound, okay? Question, question. Now this is another way to say the TION, because there's a TION question. So there's a TION example here, but it is not pronounced as shun, okay? So this is just one example of that. Another way to say this particular spelling. Instead of sh, we say it as ch, ch. We started with ch sound. So chon. We put it together, we get raise a question with clear stress on raise and quest. Third collocation, address a challenge. Again, address a challenge. Meaning to try to solve or talk about a problem. So we use this to show proactive engagement and critical problem solving, because addressing a challenge or addressing challenges effectively demonstrates your ability to analyze problems thoughtfully and, of course, work towards solutions or explanations. So that's, how do you call that? That's address a challenge collocation. Okay, this phrase is valuable when explaining methodology, maybe, or discussing limitations or proposing strategies. Address a challenge. When it comes to pronunciation, we start with address, which has two syllables. We stress on the second syllable here. The first syllable is a schwa sound, so it is a soft sound. And then the second syllable is dress, dress, which has a short vowel sound and a hissing sound at the end. So that's dress. Then following this word address is a soft sound, and then following that is challenge, which also has two syllables, and the stress syllable is on the first syllable. Chal. The first syllable is chal, which has a ch sound and a short vowel sound. Then following this, the second syllable is lunge, lunge, which has a short vowel sound and a letter J sound at the ending or at the end. So all in all, we try to put it together. We get address a challenge. Again, address a challenge with emphasis on dress and chal. So address a challenge. Fourth collocation, evaluate an argument. Again, evaluate an argument, meaning judge the value or strength of a claim. So this process involves asserting evidence, not asserting, but analyzing evidence, evaluating evidence, reasoning, and assumptions to decide how convincing or credible the argument is. So we try to an academic work evaluation is a key step in critical thinking and writing because it allows you to distinguish between strong and weak arguments and as well as biases and unsupported claims. So this phrase basically it signals analytical rigor and the ability to form well-reasoned judgments, that is, evaluate an argument. When it comes to pronunciation, we start, of course, with evaluate, which has 4 syllables, but the stress is on the second syllable. We start with the first syllable, E, which has a short E vowel sound, very simple. The second syllable is val, which has a short A vowel sound. It is not totally short because the vowel sound is held a little bit longer. It's val, not val. So it's a little bit longer, the vowel sound. And then third syllable is U, short, not short, but long U vowel sound. And then lastly, eight, evaluate. Eight. Again, eight, with a clear A diphthong sound. So all in all, we say it is evaluate. Again, evaluate, stress on the second syllable. Following this word is a soft an. And then following that is argument, which has 3 syllables. The stress is on the first syllable, which is R, which is a short vowel sound. And then the second syllable is Q, which has a letter Y sound in there, and a long U vowel sound. And then last syllable is meant, which has a schwa sound. So, we try to use a soft vowel sound in there. All in all, this is argument. So we try to put them together, we get evaluate an argument. Again, evaluate an argument with stress on val and R. Fifth collocation is clarify a concept, meaning you make an idea clearer. So to clarify a concept, we try to help remove confusion. We try to define terms or explain complex ideas simply. So this phrase indicates your role in improving communication and ensuring your audience grasps the key points accurately. Okay? Clarifying concepts, it is essential in introducing theories, in explaining a process, or summarizing findings. That's clarify a concept. When it comes to pronunciation, we start with clarify, which has 3 syllables, but the stress syllable is on the first, which is clar. Now, clar, the first syllable, it starts with a consonant cluster of the consonant sounds that K and L makes, and then followed by a short A vowel sound and ends with a letter R sound. Following this is a soft in clarify. Then last is phi, which has a clear I diphthong sound. So all in all, we get as clarify. Clarify. Following this is a soft sound, and then following that is concept, which has 2 syllables. The stress is on the first syllable. We pronounce it as the first syllable is con. We're familiar with that. We're familiar with that. This is the first syllable on the stressed one. Then sept, second syllable, which has a short e vowel sound and a clear t at the end. Okay? So this is concept. We try to put them together. We get clarify a concept. Again, clarify a concept with stress on clar on con. And the final and last academic collocation for advanced thinking and academic language, as well as the last collocation that we will be discussing for today, is pose a hypothesis. Again, pose a hypothesis. Now it means suggest a theory or possible explanation. So we pose a hypothesis. We try to do that to test through we try to do that to to really ground our research with something. There's a goal. So we test these hypotheses through research or experimentation. In academic writing, formulating hypotheses, which is the foundation of scientific inquiry and structured investigation. Now, Notice that I mentioned hypothesis as well as hypotheses. Hypothesis, hypothesis with a hissing sound at the end and a short e vowel sound before that is the singular form of this word. The plural form or equivalent of it is pronounced as hypotheses with a short e vowel sound at the end and a buzzing sound as well. So again, hypothesis is the singular form. Hypotheses is its plural form. We're referring to many hypotheses. Hypotheses is the plural form. Supposing a hypothesis involves creative and logical thinking to predict outcomes based on existing knowledge. It is a crucial step in inquiry and a structured investigation. So, a crucial step before data collection and analysis. Okay? When it comes to pronunciation, we start with pose. Pose, which has a clear O diphthong sound and a buzzing sound at the end. Following this is a soft sound. And following that is hypothesis. Now, I mentioned earlier that we will be that there's two versions of th sound. We've already mentioned. We've already encountered the voiced th sound. Now, here's the version of this voiceless. This is the IPA symbol of the voiceless th sound. Okay, so it sounds like that's a voiceless th sound. But anyway, this is hypothesis. We start with the first syllable. There are four syllables all in all. The stress is on the second syllable. But we start on the first syllable, high, which has a clear I diphthong sound. Following that is the stress syllable, po, po, very simple. And then following that is third syllable is th, 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 short with a soft sound because there's a schwa sound in there. And lastly, sis, short e vowel sound and a hissing sound before and after it. All in all, we get hypothesis. Again, hypothesis. We try to put them together. We get pose a hypothesis. Again, pose a hypothesis. Hypothesis. All right. So that's the last collocation for advanced thinking in academic languages. Language collocations, of course, it's time to practice this set of collocations. Same pattern, same process with this practice drill. Let's start right away. The article offers a unique perspective on globalization. The research raises important questions about privacy. The study addresses the challenge of inequality in education. The essay evaluates each argument using critical thinking. The teacher helped clarify the concept of opportunity cost. The scientist posed a hypothesis about animal migration patterns. And that is the last set of phrases for academic collocations. All right. So for the whole two sessions, we've discussed on academic collocations on where we included or where we discussed on 5 set of collocations, starting with argument and opinion collocations, followed by cause and effect collocations, and then research and analysis collocations. Fourth set of collocations is an academic writing structure collocations, and the last collocations are advanced thinking and academic language collocations. So those are the academic collocations that we have discussed for 2 sessions. So great work today, everyone, as well. You've just, taken an important step in improving your academic English, not just by learning useful collocations, but by practicing how to say them naturally and clearly. Remember, in both IELTS and TOEFL, it's not just, what you say, but how you say it. Collocations make a significant impact or pose a challenge. It sounds much more fluent when you stress the right syllables and link the words smoothly. So keep practicing out loud. Even, 5 minutes a day helps build muscle memory. Try repeating short phrases, maybe recording yourself or shadowing audio from academic talks or sample speaking answers. In our next lesson, we will continue still with sharpening our pronunciation, and we are going to tap on a different topic. Thanks for your energy and focus today, everyone, and see you next time. Good night and have a great rest of the night ahead. Goodbye.